So every time I ask for prayers, it's work related. And honestly, it's legitimate. I mean, I have challenges at work. And sometimes it seems impossible for me to do the work alone. So today I'm really testifying about God's faithfulness. Praveen, I feel your pain with the language. I still struggle. And so what I'm going to talk about really, it's about like a specific time, and it was this past month at work. But honestly, it's been happening my whole life, but certainly this past year. So I work as a bioprocess engineer, but I don't have a background in engineering. My background is in biology. So I just grew into the role, which means I've learned and self-teaching, and not a lot of self. I mean, I have mentors and whatnot, but I don't have the degree in engineering, right? And so, but I like to feel challenged, so it's my own fault. And it's what I do. I could have stayed doing something easier, but instead I went with, no, I want to be an engineer. And here I am standing today talking about it. So last year I was assigned this project. Because I'm a senior associate, now I have to lead this project, something I've never done. First of all, I didn't know how to do the activities. The only thing I really knew was to lead and manage. So that was really my only skill. And of course, senior management knew this, which is really sad too, because they assigned the role knowing that I don't know how to do it yet, knowing that I will need support, but I don't think they knew how much support I would need. So I start, working at this, fully aware of my gaps. Everyone knew it. Needless to say, I did feel inadequate, incompetent, inept, really, many times. But, with God's help, I was able to do this project that took me all year. I was able to learn. I was able to lead as I learned. I was able to develop the process. Essentially, I was developing a new process. That's what I was tasked with. So fast forward a year. Now is the time to test this process that I developed, right? It took me almost 12 months to complete it. And now we tested what we call a prototype run. So this is the prototype run that took me all summer to prepare for, and I'm still going through this test. So all eyes are really on me at this point. You spend 12 months asking for resources, and you have on paper a lot of information that says, this is right, this is the way to go. And just to give you a little more background, this process, it's what gets transferred to a manufacturing company so that they make tons of this drug, this therapeutic. So we're talking millions of dollars, right? This is gonna be made in large quantities and it's gonna go into humans. So you definitely want something that's safe for people. So it's a burden. And of course, it's an emotional roller coaster for me. And I think that's my biggest struggle. Like, I just go through this periods of feeling inadequate, inferior, then empowered and capable. I can do it. And then something goes wrong and I'm like, now I feel bad and I feel happy. And it's very, very exhausting, to say the least. So for this prototype run, right, I really needed God's wisdom, his favor, emotional strength, physical strength, because I was working 72, 73 hours a week for a whole month. And I couldn't have done it alone, for sure. I mean, I sent the kids to be with their dad because I wasn't home. I mean, I would leave home 6, I would come home 9, all month of August. And so, I just had to prepare for the expected, prepare for the unexpected. A lot could go wrong, right? And I fear that my biggest fear was that I wouldn't know how to handle what went wrong, when it went wrong, and do it timely and right. So I prayed. I asked for prayers. It's just Tilly, pray with me. I know that. I prepared, I worked, I prayed, and that was my cycle. And it worked, which is why I'm standing here, because when the time came to start the run, on August 13th, I was really, really scared. I woke up in the morning, the shift started at 7. And, I was there, of course, before 7 because I have to be alone. But when I got there, then things changed. Like I was no longer afraid. The time has come and I'm feeling like I can do this. I mean, I really worked to be ready. And it was really, really, really strange, but I just felt peace that morning. By 7 o'clock, when everybody joined in, it was all just, it was organized chaos. It was, I had peace within my heart, and it was so reassuring. And it was kind of like, and I texted Mrs. Tilly that night, because I said, I think this is the very first time that I could totally and unquestionably feel God's presence in my life throughout the day. I mean, it was, I never felt alone. I never felt scared. I never felt like I can't do this. And so, that day went on for like 13 hours. And it was really, really, really humbling, because when things went wrong, because of course things did go wrong, I could handle it calmly and promptly, which is what I wanted to, because things will always go wrong. You can only prepare so much, but that's really what I wanted to be able to do, have that ability, have that knowledge to know what to do when the time came. So, on the way back home that evening, I just cried out of gratitude, really, because I have never felt so undeserving as I felt that day, because like I don't deserve to be helped so much. And when you have everyone, right now I work for AstraZeneca, and AstraZeneca just acquired my company, and they were there that day. And it was stressful because I had my senior management watching, and then I had AstraZeneca, new bosses really watching, and everything went so well. When they left, they're like, this was impressive. This was super well organized. And you were like a ringmaster, they kept saying to me. And like, all I could say was God is good. And I kind of whisper, and I feel bad because I don't feel comfortable talking about God so openly at work. But that's what it comes down to. Like God is good. And he totally helped me. I mean, my prayers were answered, each one of them. And he just felt so real. I think that day was, for me, very eye-opening. And it's like a reminder, nothing's too hard for him. And just a little of God's help was enough. And I think I just have to remember that it's enough, and God is enough, and I'm enough. So, I mean, this run is still ongoing. It's been a month, but I still have a couple, maybe 2 more weeks of this nightmare. I'm near the home stretch, and so I'm close. I'm feeling stressed, tired, but having gone through it for a whole month, I know that it's not just me doing this. I know that he is with me, and it helps me feel capable, and it helps me feel like that I am capable to do this, that I've learned, and that people know it, which it's encouraging to feel like, okay, so they do trust me. I trust myself. And, I really just thank God for everything. He's merciful, and I'm so undeserving of his mercies. And again, it's just humbling to know that he always listens. And I truly appreciate it. One takeaway that I really took is comparing myself to others. It's deadly. And for me, that's kind of the emotional roller coaster that I go through. I have younger colleagues who do the same thing that I'm doing, who have done it, who maybe accomplished more or less or whatever. But that comparison, it's truly a setback. And so it's kind of a reminder, just focus on Jesus, focus on you, focus on praying when you can't do something, and the wisdom will come, and of course work for it too. And as I go through this, and the next project will also be challenging, because again, I sign up for the challenging ones. I'll just really try to remember that. It's like, just focus on Jesus, focus on you, and the rest will be the rest. And it's okay. I was actually, one more thing yesterday, I was listening to this morning thing on YouTube, morning prayer. And one of the things said, like, you're a masterpiece, and God made you, and he looked at you and he said, you are perfect the way you are. And it was so, like, I needed to hear, well, I always need to hear things like that. But yesterday, Friday, I was like, this is great, because so many times that's what it comes down to. It's like, can I do this? Or am I good enough? Or, again, I'm looking at what others do and not do. But God made us all the way that he wanted us to be. And it's just like, I'm reminding myself and reminding all of you, in case anyone needs to hear that. That's it. Thank you.